Committee, we've had 3 meetings thus far, and we've begun to go through the process of creating the top 25 poll and how we do that, and that will begin. We will begin to publish that top 25 poll at the end of October and run through the conference championship games. We have done some simulations, and I believe it's not next week but the week after we have another set of meetings as a selection committee, so we'll get more in depth as to the actual selection process at our next meeting, because that'll be our final get-together in person before we meet in October to actually publish the first poll. So we'll learn a lot more as we go through this next exercise, and I'm sure that Bill and Jeff Long will continue to keep everybody very much up to speed, because one of the things that had been talked about at the beginning is that we wanted to be as transparent a process as possible.
Is there any concern for how that whole structure in terms of having the 4 games and having them at elite sites every year kind of further distances fan bases from that? Because you can see, for instance, if you're Florida State and you think you're going to play in Charlotte, and then you go to the...
Oh, sure. The dollars and cents of it are very concerning. Now, we'll be clear, the selection committee has one role.
Right.
And that is to select the 4 teams to play in those sites.
Right. But you as an athletic director, though, and dealing with the fan base.
No question. And that's a big question for the management committee, which is why for the 6 bowls that make up the college football playoff, the 4 games that don't host semifinals, the ticket allotments have been lowered from what had been in the BCS era. Used to be you would have to, I believe it was 17,000 tickets you were obligated for. Well, if you're not in one of the semifinal games, and let's say you're playing in the Peach Bowl in Atlanta, the schools there would be obligated for 10,000 tickets. The semifinal games, 12,000 tickets. The championship game back up to 17, maybe even a little bit more. But the idea of moving teams across country, and many of the teams, well, 4 of the 5 major conferences have championship games. SEC, ACC, Big Ten, and Pac-12. Mm-hmm. So if one of those conferences has a team or teams in the semifinals, their fan base will more than likely have been at a championship game, and then to a semifinal, and then to the final championship game. And it's not lost at all on the management committee of the college football playoff that we need to continue to make these affordable and accessible to fan bases.